If I were to ask you what you think the true price of silver actually is, what would you say? $50, $100, 500, more? But what if I were to stop you mid sentence and say, actually, no matter what price you said, you're way off. You're dead wrong. Would you believe me or think that I'm kidding? Well, honestly, I'm telling the truth because the price of silver is nothing. It's priceless. You can't compare fake money to real money. It doesn't work like that. No matter who says this 1 ounce coin is worth what is irrelevant because the value of this coin is the 1 ounce inside of it, not the price tag attached to it. Spot price is irrelevant. And if you aren't already a subscriber, I highly recommend that you do since I post daily videos covering the newest, latest, freshest, most up-to-date recent information that is critical in today's day and age to be kept in the loop and not be blindly investing. So the best demonstration I can give in terms of this priceless, timeless aspect of silver is when I talk about how a walking liberty or any type of half dollar back in the day, pre 1965, could get you a gallon of gas, and that same exact coin can get you a gallon of gas today. And I actually mean that. I'm not twisting the narrative or making it some riddle. See, back in the day, that 50-cent walking liberty or barber half dollar could get you a gallon of gas. But Silver Slayer, gas isn't 50 cents today. Guess what? You could take that Walking Liberty half dollar in today's time at that gas station, walk to your local coin shop, sell it for $10, and get yourself a couple gallons of gas. You see how one coin can get you the same thing today as back in the day? Back in the day, it was the 50 cents face value. But today, it's not the 50 cents, it's the metal content inside of the coin, which is still valuable, which can still be exchanged for things in this materialistic world. That's the timeless aspect of silver. If you kept that money, let's say back then it was still just two normal quarters, in today's time, inflation would have destroyed it. But silver is timeless. That's why we put our money into it because it holds its value. And no matter what time period goes on, you'll still be able to exchange it since the value is the 1 ounce inside of it, not the price tag attached to it. And until you really understand and grasp that concept, I think it's going to be a lot harder to invest and to actually hold on to that investment. Understanding not only the true value of silver, but the true value of the dollar is just as important. Now, this article is beautiful. It really does break down this whole situation and just let us look at it from a different angle. So, what's the real price of silver? Two of my bullion dealer friends were lamenting recently about their inability to find adequate supplies of silver. One of them related that if he has to get silver eagles from his supplier, the price is $12.50 over spot. He added that generic 1 ounce round still had to be $3.40 over spot, but delivery is a month out or more. The other dealer had just quoted $4.50 over spot for 100-ounce bars. Meanwhile, silver's paper price continues to languish at 25. And yes, premiums are going to continue to rise as silver becomes more scarce. So he goes on to say that he's heard many comments about commodity traders, but none which are complimentary. Now, one of the above bullion dealers has said that the total amount of silver sold every day in 5,000-ounce contracts on the exchange exceeds the amount of silver that actually exists above ground. These traders are selling products they don't even have in quantities that may not even exist. This should be illegal, and it really shouldn't. It would expose silver's true value or true price. And it's something to take note of because I say this a lot. It puts things in perspective when you realize that on the COMEX, those people think that they own that silver. But if you really understand what this guy just says, every ounce of silver that you have in your hand, a lot of other people theoretically think they own the same ounce, but the only person that actually owns this ounce is me. And that's why the saying of these stackers is if you can't hold it, you don't own it. If it just says that you have that ounce, but it's a digit on a screen, that's not yours. Someone else actually owns that ounce. So, after reading Patrick Heller's recent explanation of the immense silver shortages in the numismatic news, I have to wonder if any commodity can be obtained physically from an exchange. Can one get physical delivery of soybeans, pork bellies, or wheat? Or are those contracts also settled with checks? I propose the creation of a new commodities exchange, but first we need to move all of the old ones to Las Vegas. These are for those traders who have no interest in price discovery and or physical delivery of any product. And yes, most contracts on the SLV, PSLV are never actually turned into physical delivery. 9 times out of 10, they don't actually get turned in, and that's why this can go on for so long where there's imaginary silver floating around because they don't turn those contracts in. If they did, it would expose the lack of silver we have. So they're only interested in gambling on the price. Let's call it Fantasy Commodities League. And it's kind of contradicting that people invest into silver digitally because that defeats the whole purpose of why we invest into silver, right? Like I said, the price tag's irrelevant. It's the 1 ounce inside of it. But if you're only investing price tag to price tag, you're missing the whole point of the intrinsical value and why silver is such a great investment. So this exchange would be a no holds barred organization in which physical delivery is prohibited. Traders in this league would be encouraged to sell things they don't own in quantities that don't exist. The new real commodities exchange would do the opposite. Physical delivery would be required and nobody would be allowed to sell anything they don't have. That's what it should be, supply and demand. And this is actually the situation that is starting to occur, especially as, mints come out, several different mints coming out, admitting there's a silver shortage as we head into this new digital era where everything's materialistic and technological, where silver plays such an important role. The inevitable is going to come when everyone realizes that there's a huge lack of silver. And it's not as simple as just saying, hey, let's go, boost production up. Then you're playing catch up, but at that point, you're caught off guard, especially looking at how much silver we need for so many different major industrial applications as the world goes green, and nothing can replace silver. We're already starting to see supply shortages, and we haven't even entered the green revolution yet. So, in a nutshell, the problem is the house always wins. If you own a casino and the regulators, then you can make your own rules. And when things aren't working to your advantage, you simply change the rules. The problem isn't short selling, it's the abuse of short selling. Now, here's where we kind of get into some of the meat and potatoes. None of this is news, and I must admit to you, the amount of stuff I don't know is absolutely staggering. The exchanges have operated this way for a long time. Chicago Board of Trade was formed in 1848. Was it legal to substitute cash for physical delivery during, say, Civil War? When did it become a casino? I apologize for this oversimplification of a very complicated subject. Perhaps default's the only cure, but if sellers aren't required to deliver physical product, how could a default ever occur? Perhaps I see a problem where there is none, but the paper price of silver is currently meaningless. It appears that we can throw that number into the scrap heap with all the other meaningless numbers that we're being fed, and that's the truth. All these numbers are just pegging something in a point in time, saying that it's worth this right now. But why does that matter right then? It's like if we got back on the gold standard. The gold standard, gold was pegged at, what was it, $35 an ounce. Something, I think it was 35. So day to day, the price didn't go up or down. It was pegged to that price. But nowadays, since we got off the gold standard, the price of silver goes up and down every day. But if the value of money is decreasing over time, then how can you compare something that always has 1 ounce of silver inside of it to an imaginary price, right? Especially knowing that in 10 years, $100 or what you can buy with $100 is going to be dramatically different than today's time. So we're attaching a price to something that holds its weight, that holds its value to something that's inevitably going to collapse, right? The dollar's already lost 98% of its purchasing power due to inflation. Not 97, not 99%. 98's a literal and factual number. We're $9 trillion in debt now, rapidly increasing, and it's just going to collapse. Every fiat-based system has collapsed, and that's why You have to put your money into something, that has real value, right? You can't create or destroy silver. Money is something that can't be created nor destroyed, right? It's a means of exchange that, between two different things. And let's say I went to the store clerk and handed over a Walking Liberty or gave them a couple Barber dimes. I was giving them something of actual value because there's 10 cents of silver inside of a Barber dime. There's 50 cents worth of silver inside of a $half. But if I have two normal dimes in today's time, I'm giving over nothing, a promise that this is worth 10 cents, but it's not. It's not even the slightest. And that's what's so dangerous about money, is that money's only as strong as people think it is. If people start to think the dollar's not strong, it literally isn't strong. The US dollar is the world's reserve currency, what makes the situation 10 times more dangerous, because that means everyone relies on the dollar's strength, but the dollar isn't strong. And this situation globally exposed that. I don't see how we can get out of this. There is no answer. There's only a solution, and that only solution is precious metals. That's literally the only thing, because everything else is pegged to the dollar. The only other option would be cryptocurrency, but that's digital, so it goes against what we stand for with if you can't hold it, you don't own it. So you see why silver is literally the only thing that makes sense, silver and gold. Anything else is a major risk factor and really just doesn't stand to the same principles when you're thinking logically about putting your money somewhere as a preservation of wealth. So anyways, yeah, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. I mean, I could keep going into quantitative easing and all that stuff, but I think I got the point across. I don't like rambling. I try to make sure I'm talking about points that are on topic with the video. But yeah, I mean, the whole point of this is that no matter what the spot price of silver is, it doesn't matter, right? We're talking about long term anyways. A lot of us are never going to sell. Why would you put fake money into real money and then sell the real money back into fake money? It's extremely contradicting, but it does make sense in points of you can't, pay your mortgage with silver right now. You got to still pay bills. You can't go to the grocery store and just dump a whole bunch of American Eagles on the table and buy your groceries. So you can profit from that, but I definitely know that a lot of you are going to pass it down. I've actually made polls before asking when you're going to sell, and then even on the poll, I'll put the option of never. And a lot of you say you're never going to sell. You're going to pass it to your kids and grandkids. Let me know if you're going to do that in the comments below. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you thought this video was 1, educational, 2, informational, 3, at least entertaining, make sure to hit the like button. It's really late at night. I'm really tired. But I wanted to bust this video out today for you all. So I'm about to go to sleep, but I hope you did enjoy it. Hopefully I still made a good quality video, even though I am a little more on the tired side, as it's 1:20 in the morning, but my daughter's asleep, and this is one of the only times I can work when I have her. So yeah, anyways, thanks. I love you all. Thanks for tuning in. Go check out my other recent videos. This was Silver Slayer. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.